Okay. Jasmine, how did you find out about me? May I ask? I forgot to ask you that.
You know the Maggie Rogers? Margaret Maggie?
Yes.
She also go to the Langara College, maybe twice one semester or sometimes, So she met you and she introduced me to you.
That's great. Thank you very much. Thank her. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So every day I was on a movie set. I would hire extras, let's say today, and then tomorrow I would go in the morning to one movie set to make sure that the extras were there on time, dressed properly, and then I would wait around for a little bit and watch the filming because the traffic was bad. So I really look forward to watching the filming because I started to fall in love with the way the actors were speaking. I heard this beautiful way of speaking. I couldn't have told you what it was, but I know now, and it's totally connected with what I'm going to teach you. I should also tell you at lunchtime, I worked inside the Warner Brothers studios, the big studio in Los Angeles, one of them, and every day I ate my lunch inside one of these buildings, and I also look forward to hearing the way the actors spoke. I'm going to teach you how to speak like an actor. They speak in a very beautiful, different way. I came back to Vancouver in 1991, and I got a job, very lucky to get a job downtown Vancouver with the Actors Union. All the actors in Vancouver belonged to a union, and I worked for them. Nothing to do with you until around 1995 or 96, so 20 years ago, they gave me a job to work with the American producers when they came up from Vancouver. So I knew all these men and women, and one day one of them called me and said, "Andy, we have a big problem. We're not going to hire any Vancouver actors for our movie because they're speaking Canadian. We don't like the way they speak. They speak Canadian." Jasmine, do you know what Canadian is? Do you know what he was talking about? Have you spoken to enough Canadians? Do you know that they speak some way?
No, I don't know the difference between American and Canadian.
Great. Well, when I heard that, that was my reaction. I remember said, "Robert, what are you talking about?" Well, he said they speak much faster than we do, and their words are clipped, short and clipped. He said, "Andy, you're not an actor, but you speak like an actor. You speak just like I do. You need to try and figure out how you're speaking so you can teach these Canadians how to speak like you do and I do. We speak American. You grew up in San Francisco. You lived in Los Angeles. You speak just like I do." I thought, oh my gosh, what am I going to... No, I knew right away. It just took a minute. My father, Jasmine, was born in San Francisco. He grew up in San Francisco. He lives a few miles away. So I called my dad and I said, "Dad, I'm coming over because I want to see if we can figure out how we talk this American." So I went over to my dad, and I remember walking in and saying this to him. "Dad, but for the first time in my life, Jasmine, I did this." I went like this. "Dad, what is it about the way we talk?" My tongue went up, talk. When I was trying to analyze the way we spoke as Americans, I realized, we both realized, that we were putting our tongue and lips in certain positions to push out air, to make every word have a long vowel. The way I'm talking now is American. Now, it's all connected with accent reduction. I'm not interested in teaching you American just to have you speak American, but we're going to find out in a minute how it led to accent reduction. So my dad and I, in about 15 minutes, 15, not even 50, only 15 minutes, we wrote down what we thought were all the letters of the alphabet. How did we say these words as Americans? Well, these are all the letters I'm going to teach you. These are the letters of the alphabet in different groups. My dad and I put them together in these groups. I'm going to read them very quickly. You don't have to remember even one, but you're going to learn them all. Every time we said a word that began with a vowel, we open our mouth about 60%. For B, M, and P, our lips came together. For C, K, and G, mouth opened about 20%, and we went g, g, k, k. I'm going to show you pictures of all these in just a minute, just to show you the different positions. For D, J, N, and T words, in other words, before I said a word that began with D, J, N, or T, I put my tongue up above my teeth on my palate. For F and V, my teeth came down on my bottom lip. For H, my mouth was open 40%. For L, my tongue went behind my teeth. Let's go to W, make a round kissing position. And for TH, tongue under top teeth. I'm going to teach you, first of all, before you speak, your mouth is always going to be like this. Right now, your mouth is closed. Would you open your mouth just a little bit and go, huh, huh? Can you make that sound, huh? Every time you speak, before you speak, I will ask you to make sure your mouth is open. Never closed, always open in a very relaxed way, just like this. Before you say a vowel, a word that begins with a vowel, you're going to open your mouth. I want you to try something. 1 second. I want you to hold your hand up like this, like you're going to wave to me. A little higher. Actually, move the camera if you can, a little, so I don't see as much of the top of your head. Can you move the camera just a bit? If it's not possible, it's okay. The other way? Other way. Good, that's great. I want you to go like this. Look what I'm doing. Answer. I want you to bring in some air. Answer and kind of...
Answer.
Good, good, good. Open a little wider. Don't do it yet. Watch. Ask.
Ask.
I want you to... Ask. Good, good for you. Do this. Open a little wider. Instead of pushing here, you're pushing this way. Can you do this? Can you tap with your fingertips? Look what I'm doing. Ask. I bring it back.
Ask.
Ask. Do it with your fingertips. Ask.
Ask.
No, you're still pushing with this. Try to look what I'm doing if I go like this. Look. Like I'm slapping with my fingertips. Ask. Can you snap your fingertips?
Ask.
That's good. That's good. Open your mouth. Look. Watch me. You need to go wider. You're not used to it in Korean, but go wider. Look. Wider. Wider. There it is. Good. Ask.
Ask.
Really good. That was perfect. Open again wider. When I tell you perfect, it means it was perfect, okay? You won't do better because you open your mouth properly. Look. Even.
Even.
Good. That N is hard. Can you go N? Even.
Even.
Good for you. A-E-I. Look at my mouth. Isn't.
Isn't.
You're doing great. Every word is perfect. How come? Because I'm showing you where to open your mouth. That's all this is about. A-E-I. How about O? Often.
Often.
Good. Keep your mouth open. Often.
Often.
Good. Up.
Up.
Good. That was great. Let's go back here. So every time you say a word that begins with a vowel, I'll make sure your mouth is open like that. When you do a B, M, or P word, you start with your mouth open and then your lips come together and they go forward. Open your mouth and go, take your hand. Best.
Dust.
No, best. B-E-S-T. Best.
Best.
Do it again.
Best.
Good.
Best.
Wait I never do it more than once. Listen. Best. Make the vowel longer. Best.
Best.
That was good. Mention.
Mention.
That was good. Patient.
Patient.
That was really good. C, K, and G. Your mouth is open like this, about 20%, and you make a guttural sound. I'm going to do 3 words, you listen. Wait till I finish. Can.
Can.
Kick. No, I said wait till I finish. I'll tell you when to speak. Can. Kick. Gone. Let's start with can. You do with me? Like I can go to the store. Can. Use your hand. Can. C-A-N.
Can.
Good. Kick.
Kick.
Really good. Gone.
Gone.
Really good. Do you believe me when I say really good? That's perfect. Most Chinese cannot make gone. And Koreans are not that easy. You said it perfectly. You said kick and gone perfectly. I'll never be able to make you do it better. Good for you. For D, J, N, and T, my mouth is open like this and my tongue goes up on my palate at 45 degrees. It touches the skin above my teeth. Can you say d, d? Let's go d, d. D, d.
D, d.
Good. Doesn't.
Doesn't.
Good. Use your hand. Always use your hand. Bring your hand back. That's going to help you take in a little bit of air. Then you're going to push your hand forward to make the word long. Doesn't.
Doesn't.
It's perfect. Jump.
Jump.
Really good. That time was even better because you made it kind of gentle. You didn't go jump. You went jump. Do it again. That was very good. Jump.
Jump.
Really good. Nice.
Nice.
It's also good. Time.
Time.
Good. You did all those words perfectly. For F and V, in other words, any word that you say for the rest of your life that begins with an F or a V, your top teeth come down in your bottom lip. Get ready? Fast.
Fast.
Famous.
Famous.
Very.
Very.
Visitor.
Visitor.
Also very good. And your R is very good. Wow, visitor. Most visitor. Most people can't make that R from Asia. Very good. H. Open your mouth a little wider, just like this, and go, listen, I'll do this sentence, wait till I finish. He hasn't had. Do it. He.
He.
Hasn't.
He.
Hasn't.
Hasn't.
Had.
Had.
Let's put words together. Listen. I'm going to do 1 and 2. Don't speak, but listen. He hasn't had. I want you to, let me show you something that'll make it a little better. Watch my hand. I want you to really have a purpose. You bring your hand back. He hasn't had. Don't do it yet. You start forward. No, start with your hand, not back, but at 45 degrees. Kind of look good. No, put it up, actually put it just like my hand. A little higher. Good. Good. Put this part right down. A little, there it is. No, keep it like this. Now go like this. He. There it is. Just do it once. He.
He.
Good. Look what I'm doing. I don't want to start back here. I want to go this way. Forward, so you can see my arm is kind of at 45 degrees before. Just watch me. He. Look how it stays there. It starts here. See, it's right there. So I go, he hasn't had. It's like you're spanking your kid. He hasn't had. Do it. He.
He.
Hasn't had.
Hasn't had.
That's really good. Stop there. Really good. So every time you speak, I want you to move your hand that way. How about the L? The tongue goes behind the top teeth. Not an easy sound for Koreans. The tip of your tongue goes behind your teeth. Lucky. Say it.
Lucky.
Use your hand. Lucky.
Lucky.
Your hand is great. Love.
Love.
Lie.
Lie.
Really, really good. R, S, and Y. Before you say an R word, you go r, r, r. Before you say an S word, you go s, s, s. Before you say a Y word, you go y, y, y. Get ready for reason.
Reason.
Sign.
Sign.
Yes.
Yes.
You're doing great. W. You put a straw in the middle of your mouth, you make a little hole and you go, why? Bring your hand back.
Why?
Good for you. You're doing great. TH. Tip of your tongue under your top teeth. This.
This.
You're doing great. Jasmine, if I tell you put your hand down and rest. If I tell you you're doing good, well, and you're not, I lose all my credibility. I'm going to send you this video. You're welcome to show it to anybody. You show it to any native speaker, and if even once, if I say you did great and they don't hear it's good, of course I lose all my reputation. When I tell you you're doing good, you're doing great. You may not continue with these classes, or you may, but I'm telling you right now, you are doing perfectly. Your words, 95% are perfect. I can't even tell you, there were one or two words maybe that weren't perfect, but otherwise you're doing great. Why is that? Because I'm showing you what to do with your mouth. You're using your hand perfectly. You're using your hand to push the word to make it have a long vowel. Let's finish the story. So my dad and I wrote down all those different positions. I took them to my boss and I said, Richard, I'd like to try to call some actors, see if I can teach them how to speak American. He said, great, go ahead. So I got this group together. It was a free class and I began to teach. And here's how the story ended. In the second week, this lovely black guy from West Africa knocked on the door. And I saw him. I knew him very well. I said, yes, Francis. He said, Andy, I want to come to your class. He had this very heavy French, West African accent. I thought, I can't teach this guy. I don't even know what to do with anybody with an accent. I can teach a Canadian, but not anybody with an accent. But it was a very, very cold day. Very cold. Northern Korea weather. Not usual mild Vancouver. It was February, really cold. So I let him sit. And at the end of the second class, he raised his hand and he did this. You watch me. This is what you're going to do. Andy, I think. I'm tapping Jasmine with this. I'm not pushing with this. I'm kind of tapping with my fingertips. Andy, I think I'm able to speak without my accent. I thought, oh my God, I can teach accent reduction. Get your hand ready. Open your mouth like this. Andy.
Andy.
Really good. I think
I'm
able to speak perfect without my accent. Really good. Put your hand down. That was great. How simple it is. All you do is speak slowly, make the positions, and you're going to be great. You like to if I ask you, do you like to speak English? I think your answer would be probably not. I have to speak English, but I don't really love to speak English. Is that true? Or do you actually really like to speak English when you do? What do you think?
Just I need English for communication.
Sure you do. But if you answered me honestly, would you say you don't love to speak English?
I don't know.
Well, I hope that if we continue this class, you will love to speak English when you have maybe 3 or 4 classes. I want to tell you a story about Jackie Chan. I did teach him, and he said something that is the reason why I'm going to tell you. I want to tell you first, I went to China in 2008, not to teach Jackie, but to teach the other actors on his movie called The Forbidden Kingdom. If you continue, I'm going to ask you to watch this movie with your kids on YouTube. It's a very good family movie, and it's a wonderful movie. But I wasn't there to teach him. I was there to teach this lovely Chinese actress. here I am with her in Beijing, and this lady is actually very famous. Her name is Li Bingbing. She's probably the most famous person in China, and I taught her for 3 weeks, 3 hours a day. But I ended up teaching Jackie in the Shangri-La Hotel in Shanghai. I went into his beautiful apartment, and I taught him for about 3 hours. Then I came out, and he, in the living room, was the producer, the director, and the writer of the movie. And I was seated also there, and Jackie started to walk back and forth, and this is what he said. He said, you know, I just had Andy's class. Was pretty good. But you know, I don't like speak English. I hate speak English. It's too hard for me. You want me to do this movie? I don't want to. Too many English words, too hard. But I know I don't do. You sue me. So I do, but I don't want to. I never had enough time with Jackie. I wish I did, but he doesn't need me. He's got a pretty good income speaking the way he does. But with you, I hope when I finish teaching you, I know you will say, I love to speak English. I feel proud that my kids hear me speak beautiful, clear English. I'm telling you the truth, Jasmine. You have the potential for totally speaking without your accent. I don't teach many Koreans, honestly. This is the truth. You've started off amazingly perfectly. I'm not even sure I've ever taught any Korean person who started off as well as you. I'll be glad to send you, if you continue, other videos from other Koreans, and you will hear the difference. You're doing great. I've been very lucky. I've taught in Seoul. I went to the National University maybe 3 or 4 years ago to teach there. But mostly I teach HSBC IT people, mostly in Hong Kong. And here's a group in Guangzhou. I've taught in Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, and Hong Kong, just like you. They're just regular people, and they have accents, and they've all been very happy. I want you to read Old Way. O-L-D means with your accent. I want you to say, my name is Jasmine, and I came to Canada from Korea about a year, whatever it is, ago. Read it in your old way with your accent. Go ahead.
My old way?
Yeah.
My name is Jasmine, and I came to Canada from Seoul about 2 years ago.
Good for you. In a minute, I'm going to teach you how to say it perfectly, and then we're going to start, we'll put 2 words together. It'll be, my name is Jasmine, and I came to Canada from Korea, from Seoul, Korea, about 2 years ago. But let's try it, first of all, 1 word at a time. Get your hand ready. Actually, 1 second. You always start, Jasmine, if you can. It's not easy. Never have your mouth closed. Everything I show you starts with the mouth open. So if you're like this, it doesn't work. It's better to have your mouth open. My. You do it?
My.
Perfect. Look how beautiful that was. My. Most students don't do it that slowly. I'm very impressed. Let's go to name. Your tongue will go up on your palate. Name.
Name.
Your hand is also perfect. Is.
Is.
Jasmine.
Jasmine.
And.
And.
I. Came.
Came.
To. Canada.
Canada.
From. Korea. I can help you with one of those words. You said F-R-O-M the way it's spelled. I want you to try to do it, and I'll always correct you. F-R-O-M is actually F-R-U-M. There's a U. From.
From.
Good. Can you say dim sum? Dim sum.
dim sum.
Good. Some.
Some.
From.
From.
There it is. Good. Korea.
Korea.
About.
About.
2
2
years.
years.
You said very hard Korean word. You said ears. But I want you to say yeah. Can you say, you said it earlier beautifully, yes.
Yes.
Yellow.
Yellow.
Years.
Ears.
Not bad. A little better. Before you just said ears. So the difference between ears and years is a y. There's a y in front. Ago.
Ago.
My name.
My name
Perfect. Is Jasmine.
is Jasmine.
And I came
And I came
to Canada
to Canada
from Korea
from Korea
about
about
2
2
years ago.
years ago.
Other than years you did it. Whoops. Sorry, I pushed the wrong one. Other than years, you did a great job. Great. So what we're going to do in this class is to speak one word to make sure you get it right. Then we'll start putting 1 and 2 words and sometimes 3 together. So look what we did here. We did 2, 2, 3, 2, whoops. Anyway, these are all the letters I'm going to teach you. You have no difficulty doing them. When you memorize them, it's going to be even easier. Just as a reminder, here's the H. Here's the, what is this? D, J, N, and T. No, this is L. This is R, S, Y. This is W. This is TH. So those are what we'll learn. What is my method? If you speak more slowly, then you will have time to put your tongue and lips in these exact positions that I teach you to speak every word with a long vowel. Right now, because you made every word have a long vowel, you spoke beautifully. I want you to say this to your kids. I want you to say this. Get your hand ready. Today.
Today.
I learned how.
I learned how.
To speak.
To speak.
Without.
Without.
My accent.
My accent.
One of your kids says, Mom, how did you do that? Open your mouth. I learned how.
I learned how.
To make.
To make.
Positions.
Pardon?
Positions.
Positions.
With.
With.
My mouth.
My mouth.
To take in.
To take in.
Air.
Air.
To force out.
To force out.
Air.
Air.
And to make.
And to make.
Every word.
Every word.
Have.
Add.
H-A-V-E. Have.
Have.
Good. A long.
A long.
Vowel.
Vowel.
Good. Long was not an easy word for you. I'll help you with that another time. Really good. So that's what you tell them. You're taking in air. After you make a position, you use your hand to push out the air to make every word have a long vowel. Another way is, number 1, speak slowly. Number 2, that gives you time to put your tongue and lips in the exact position. Number 3 is what you're doing with your hand. You bring your hand back. That's the taking in of the air. You force your hand forward, and then you elongate or make the main vowel long. That is the secret. I always want you to have your mouth open like this pretty girl. And also, very important, never start speaking right away. Always wait. Pretend you are thinking before you speak. So if I say, Jasmine, what did you do before you left Korea? I was a housewife. Is that right? What did you do? Did you have a job before your kids? What is your profession?
I was a doctor.
Good. I was a doctor. Listen, say Andy, or pretend like you are me. Jasmine, what was your profession? Say that. Jasmine, what was your profession? You are Andy, I'm Jasmine. Say, Jasmine, what was your profession in Korea?
Jasmine, what was your profession in Korea?
I was a doctor. See how I waited? I always want you to wait. I'm not surprised that you were a doctor for the way you are speaking now. Very impressed. What kind of a doctor were you? GP or specialist?
Yes. I was obstetrician and gynecologist.
That's great. Great. These are the letters, Jasmine, we're going to focus on if we continue. They're all easy. How many letters of the alphabet? 26. Plus TH down at the bottom is 27, but they're all in groups. Easy to understand groups. Right now, you're like a baby, speaking of obstetricians. You do everything slowly. A baby crawls first. So right now you have many, many things to think about before you speak. Maybe at the end of, if we continue the end of the first class, the next class, if you continue, I will not count today's class. This will not count. Your next class will be class number 1. Maybe at the end of that class, and I predict you will, you'll be like a toddler. Instead of trying to remember 15 things, maybe it'll be down to 10. By the end of the third class, you'll be like a lady walking. You'll be down to maybe 3 or 4 things. Those 3 or 4 things are to pause, voice down, and speak 1, 2, or 3 words at a time. There are only 3 things really to focus on once you learn everything. So you'll be walking, I would say, by the end of the 4th or 5th class. You'll hardly think about anything except those 3 things. But I have this picture to, when you just told me a few minutes ago, what kind of a doctor were you? You said, I was a gynecologist and whatever you said. But you can't do that. That means you just answered me. You didn't think how you would do it. So you would say this. In other words, you can never run. Running means you don't have to think about what you're doing. I know you always have to think. Even someone like you. I was a gynecologist. What's the other? What is it? Gynecologist and what word? I've forgotten. What did you tell me you are?
Obstetrician.
Yes, good. I was an obstetrician and gynecologist. Say I was.
I was
an obstetrician.
An obstetrician.
And gynecologist.
And gynecologist.
In Korea.
In Korea.
So see, you got to think. You've got to think, how do I separate the words? How do I put them together? These are all things I will teach you. President Kennedy, Jasmine, was my hero because he spoke so beautifully. It says, listen to this speech by President Kennedy, speaking more slowly and with pauses. If I speak this just like a normal person, and I have a stopwatch, I think it's going to take about 3 seconds. We observe today not a victory of party, but a celebration of freedom. That takes about 3 seconds. But he actually goes like this. It takes him 9 seconds, because he goes like this. He doesn't know he's doing it, but he does. We observe today not a victory of party, but a celebration of freedom. Excuse me for 1 minute. This is Andy. Yes, I can't talk to you now. Would you call me back at 1:45, please? In 45 minutes. Please, thank you. We observe today not a victory of party, but a celebration of freedom. It actually takes him 9 seconds because he's doing exactly what I'm going to teach you. Can you go like this? Take your hand. We observe.
We observe.
Today.
Today.
Not.
Not.
A victory.
A victory.
Of party.
A party.
But
but
a celebration
celebration
of freedom.
of freedom.
Really good. Put your hand down. That was great. So when it's your turn to do it, I hope you'll speak like this.
We observe today not a victory of party, but a celebration of freedom.
Let's hear it one more time.
We observe today
Pause, pause, pause.
not a victory of party,
Pause, pause, pause.
but a celebration of freedom.
So that's the way you're going to speak. Jasmine, we're going to finish at 12:30. Is that okay? Another half hour? Are you okay?
Yes.
Great.
I was just wondering, it's Canadian speech is a maker speech, public speech. So usually when they speak publicly,
let me tell you.
yeah.
The difference between Canadian and American is really only one thing, or actually two things. In Canadian, we just kind of talk fast. We just kind of, whatever we're thinking, we just say the words. That doesn't work for accent reduction. You need to speak 1 and 2 words and pause. 1 or 2 words. So the reason I'm teaching you American is only because American is a language of positions. I've taught thousands of Canadian actors how to speak American, and not one person has any idea what I'm talking about until I explain it. Because speaking with positions in Canadian, it just doesn't exist. So if you're telling me, if you're asked, and I'll let you, I apologize for interrupting, but when you speak publicly, if you speak American, it is better because you're going to speak without your accent. You're going to speak slower, more clearly, voice down. Canadians go up, Americans go down. Go down gives you pauses. I'm going to explain all this in just a minute. Tell me again what you wanted to tell me, and I apologize for interrupting. What did you say? Canadian is
just I'm wondering, when we say just conversation with friends,
you have to remember when you were a kid or when your children learned how to ride a bike. Did they get on the bike and ride it right away? No. They had to learn to do many things. Balance, move their feet, move the handlebars. When you have conversation with your friends, you will tell your, in fact, let me wait because I have a slide on that in just a minute. It's a very good question. Let's look at this slide. It says, I went to the Philippines in 2004, and this young lady talked about how she felt about my class. And this is what she said. I'm more confident because I know that each word I'm saying can be clearly understood. Repeat after me. I'm more confident.
I'm more confident.
Because.
Because.
I know.
I know.
Now you said because. Can you say, look how I wrote because. B-E-K-U-Z. Because. Like cousin.
Because.
No, say cousin.
Cousin.
Good. Again, open your mouth a little wider. Cousin.
Cousin.
Becousin.
Becousin.
Perfect. Because.
Because.
There it is. Very close. I know. Say
I know.
That.
That.
Each word.
Each word.
I'm saying.
I'm saying.
Can be clearly.
Can be clearly.
Understood.
Understood.
Good. Not understood, but understood. Understood.
Understood.
Understood. Not stew. Look. Stood.
Stood.
No, you're going stewed. I can see your lips. Don't go stewed. Stood. Stood up. Not stewed. Stood up.
Stood up.
Good. Understood.
Understood.
Good. I don't like all of a sudden what your hand is doing. You're kind of doing this. Keep your hand open like this. Try to tap just with your fingertips. Can be clearly. Look just with like you're throwing the fingertips across the room. Don't let your hands collapse, Jasmine. Never collapse. Always keep them open like this. So, understood.
Understood.
Good. You want to answer the phone? There's no problem if you need to answer.
No, just
okay?
text.
Okay.
Yeah.
Put your hand down. You're doing great. Hand down, relax.
Stood.
Stood.
Understood.
Good. I'm more confident. Say
I'm more confident.
because.
Because.
Not because.
Because.
Much better. I know
I know
that.
that
Each word
each word
I'm saying
I'm saying
can be clearly
can be clearly
understood.
understood.
Good for you. It says she spoke these words in specific groups. She said these words not on her own. I taught her as I will teach you. When do you say one word? When do you say two? When do you say three? It's very simple, but she said it exactly the way I taught her, the way I want her to speak. You'll learn how to do that. And here's the picture on speaking to your friends. Here's what it says halfway down. It says at the top, practice daily with a trusted friend or your kids. Then later, a co-worker. But tell your family member or co-worker that you have learned how to speak English without your accent. You tell your son, your kids, I need to speak more slowly. I need to speak with pauses. I need to speak in groups of words, and I will teach you completely how to group. You'll never have to think about it. It's all very specific. And one of the best things you've done today, and it makes me so happy because it's less stressful, and that is you've made your voice go down, Jasmine. You haven't gone up. Canadians go up. Most people from China, from Korea, from Russia, everybody goes up. Going down is not easy. But American English, which is accent reduction, is voice down, and you've done it. I've not corrected you even once today. That's very, very exciting. It is, let me show you something. Hold on one second. I'm going to send you this right now, if I can find it. Shoot, I'm looking. They never stay. There it is here. Let's bring this up here. This is a list of all the things that you're going to learn. What's number one? Make your voice go down, and you've done it. What's your email address, please?
M A.
There it is.
Oh yes.
Is that it?
Third.
The
No,
third one.
Third.
Okay, just 1 second. There it is. Of course. Sure, great.
Yes.
So all these things, look how many there are. You know, speaking, using long vowels and blah, blah. Look at all these things. These are all the things we're going to talk about. And number one is what you've done so beautifully today. You made your voice go down. That is huge. So you may not know right now, but you're going to absolutely always make your voice go down. Okay. 1 second. Why do you have an accent? Any idea why you have an accent? Because, actually, would you speak some Korean for a minute? Would you say, my name is Jasmine. I came to Canada 2 years ago from Korea. When I was in Korea, I was a doctor. Would you say that in Korean, please?
네, 제 이름은 양은영이고요. 저는 한국에서 왔고요. 한국에서는 제가 의사였습니다.
I think Japanese is faster, but Korean is almost right there. Why do you speak so fast? Because in Korean, you have no positions. Not even one. No one ever taught you, no one ever said you need to make positions with your mouth. All you do is make sounds. And that's why you speak like this submachine gun. And even in Korea, when you learned English, nobody ever said, when you say a W, you have to make this round kissing position. When you make an R, nobody ever told you that, I'm sure. You just speak English in a different way that I'm going to teach you. So you're going to speak not fast, but like a tennis ball. If I hit a tennis ball, pew, pew, pew. So you're going to speak like this. My name is Jasmine. I came to Canada. You're going to speak that way rather than like a submachine gun. Every time you speak one word, you're going to pause. After you say 2 words, you're going to pause. 3 words, you will pause. You'll always pause after certain words. How long do you pause? If you pick up a tomato and throw the tomato against the wall, it takes time to bring it back and throw it. Then it hits the wall and splatters to the ground. That takes about 3 seconds. But rather than visualize the tomato, all you do is count to 3. Can you say really fast, 1, 2, 3?
1, 2, 3.
How do you say in Korean 1, 2, 3?
하나, 둘, 셋.
Great. So you can count in Korean. Do you know Mozart a little bit?
Yes.
Okay. I love Mozart. I have 2 kids whom I love very much, but I have to say I love Mozart as much as I love my kids. Why? Because his music is so beautiful. Every note, as you know, is so perfect. I'm going to make sure that every time you say a word, Jasmine, and you've been doing it today, every position of your mouth is like a perfect note of music. This girl's mouth is open, ready to say any word that begins with A, E, I, O, U. Would you open it like that? Take your hand and let's say this word. Open, it's good. Asking.
Asking.
Even.
Even.
Isn't.
Isn't.
Often.
Often.
You're doing great. Under.
Under.
Good. Make a W. Why.
Why.
Look at the last little guy. He's got his tongue under his top teeth. They.
They.
Good. Every word is perfect. I hope when your kids watch this, they're going to say, I'm proud of you, Mom. You're doing great. Do your kids still have a little bit of an accent?
I think.
Here's what I would do. If you continue at some point on a Saturday or a Sunday, if you allow me to and want me to, I'll drive out to Surrey or wherever you are, and I'll give all your kids and you a 1 hour, hour and a half, depending on how long they can sit, give them a introduction to accent reduction. No, I won't, yes I will. I'll call it 1 hour, but I'll be glad to come out and teach your kids how to speak, okay? You can decide whether you want to do that or not.
Yeah.
Skip ahead here. Let's look at 3 different letters. How do you say BM and P words? How do you say, 1 second. How do you say F words? How do you say W words? Let's see how we do that. I want you to read, please. It says start with your lips slightly apart, and then they will come together when you say the word. Before you do it new way, I want you to read these words old way. Best mention patient. Say it old way. Best mention patient.
Best mention patient.
Banks make huge profits. Write down here. Banks make huge profits.
Banks make huge profit.
Good. And second. How about fast, famous, very visitor? Old way.
Fast, famous, very visitor.
I can be very fast.
I can be very fast.
Good. Want, why, word, work.
Want, why, word, work.
When will we ever win?
When will we ever win?
Good for you. Okay, let's try it all new way. 1 second. Best.
Best.
Good for you. Mention.
Mention.
Patient.
Patient.
Banks.
Banks.
Make.
Make.
Why am I smiling? Because you said banks so perfectly. Most student banks. Spanish people cannot say that word at all. So good for you. Banks.
Banks.
Make.
Make.
Huge.
Huge.
Huge was hard. J. After the hue, you make a j. Huge.
Huge.
Good. Profits.
Profit.
I'll help you with huge another time. Let's put it together. Banks.
Banks.
Make huge.
Make huge.
Profits.
Profit.
Good. I'm glad you had one word you couldn't say properly. Good for you. Let's do the next one. Fast.
Fast.
Famous.
Famous.
Very.
Very.
Visitor.
Visitor.
I. Can.
Can.
Be.
Be.
Very.
Very.
Fast.
Fast.
I can.
I can.
Be very.
Be very.
Fast.
Fast.
You're doing great. Want.
Want.
Why.
Why.
Word.
Word.
Work.
Work.
When.
When.
You're doing just perfectly. Will.
Will.
We.
We.
Will was off just a bit. You almost said wheel. I'll help you with that another time. Just try to really relax your mouth. You're falling asleep. Will.
Will.
That L is hard. We.
We.
Ever.
Ever.
When.
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 Will we.
Will we.
Ever win.
Ever when.
Good for you. You said actually ever when. So when is hard. I'll help you with those words. They're very, very common mistakes. Let's continue.
One.
When.
When.
Win.
When.
Good. If you said window, how would you say that? Window.
Window.
Good. So you just, instead of window, you go win.
Window.
Just say win. Win.
Win.
Good. Much better. So when you take in air, when you make a position like this, you keep your mouth like this, then you take in air, then you push the air forward, that's what your hand is doing, and then you try to make every word have a long vowel. I want you to speak all these words old way, horizontally. Canada can't answer. Often basically time. Has face lunch. Yes, why this? Go ahead.
Canada can answer. Often basically time. Has face lunch. Yes, why this?
Good for you. Get mouth open 20%. Canada.
Canada.
Can.
Can.
Open mouth wider. Answer.
Answer.
You're doing great. Open wider. Often.
Often.
Basically.
Basically.
Tongue up at 45 degrees. Time.
Time.
Perfect. Has.
Has.
Face.
Face.
Lunch.
Lunch.
Perfect. Yes.
Yes.
Why.
Why.
This.
This.
Really good. Okay, we're going to go forward. All these things, if we continue, we're going to talk about Obama. One thing about Obama, when he speaks well, Jasmine,
yes.
He really speaks well. Look above, it says he only speaks 94 words in 1 minute. When he speaks well, he's an impressive speaker. 94 words. Stephen Harper, 165. So there's the difference between Canadian and American. Stephen Harper doesn't know anything about positions. He doesn't care about them. He doesn't know about them. And he's a lousy speaker. He speaks too fast. His words are short and clipped. So better to speak like Obama. And I will teach you how to speak like Obama. This is my favorite slide. It says, when you give a speech, when you speak to a group, you have to have the right word. Those words should be effective. If you are giving a presentation about one aspect of gynecology, for sure, you have to have the appropriate effective words. Mark Twain was a great American writer. He wrote Huckleberry Finn and Tom Sawyer. He lived around 1900, 1890. And he was apparently a great speaker. I never knew this. Because he was a great speaker, he was able to give us this information. The right word may be effective when you speak, but no word was ever as effective as a rightly timed pause. Is that amazing? Pauses are more important than the actual words themselves. Desmond, I'm going to tell you this short story two ways. My ex-wife and I were married for 10 years. We had a baby. The baby was 6 weeks old. When we came home one night, we went in to check the baby. The babysitter said he was fine. He was dead from crib death. I just told you that very fast. My new way would be this. My wife and I were married for 10 years. We had a son named Jonathan. He was 6 weeks old. He had a cold, but we went out for dinner. It was the first time we went out. We had a very excellent babysitter. When we came home, the babysitter said he was sleeping. When my wife checked him, he was dead. Okay, see how I paused? Is that more effective than the first way? Yes, it is, and that's the way I'm going to teach you to speak. How do I know this is right? This is the last part. This will take about five or 6 minutes. I know that I'm right because 7 years ago, Bill Clinton came to Vancouver. I saw this. I saw his face on the Metro newspaper cover, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to go hear this guy speak. So I went to buy a ticket. The tickets were $1,000, so I didn't buy a ticket, of course. I would have paid maybe $30, but I certainly could not afford, nor would I have paid $1,000. But somebody gave me a ticket. So I was so excited. I went downtown. One of the hotel ballrooms was packed with 2,500 people. They all paid $1,000. I'll tell you that we sat at tables of 12. In those tables were judges, lawyers, doctors, presidents of companies, the governor general, the mayor, the premier, everybody in BC who could afford $1,000, who were, call them the elite, they were all there. And Bill Clinton came out and talked about Canada's healthcare system. And this is the way he spoke. 1 second. Remember when Sergeant Shriver spoke? He spoke like this. You have a wonderful opportunity to do something valuable with your life. Here's the way President Clinton spoke. You have a wonderful healthcare system in Canada. I understand the average Canadian pays $50 a month. Everybody in Canada pays into the system. You get sick, you go to the doctor, but you don't pay money. You take out your care card and you get treated. Canadians sleep at night. They don't worry about getting sick. When that speech was over, Jasmine, those 2,500 people clapped so hard, I thought they'd broken every bone in their hand. They'd have to go to emergency to get that hand repaired. It was incredible. Why did they clap so loud? Well, at the end of the speech, I asked each one of them, did you like the speech? I went around to the 11 people at my table. I said, did you like the speech? They said it was incredible. What did you like about it? I don't know, but I loved it. Not one person, not one person. And I tell you, I'm sure, were all highly educated. They were doctors and lawyers and presidents of companies. So why did they not tell me what they liked? Because they don't know what I'm going to teach you. In that 1 hour speech, he made his voice go down. He spoke in hundreds of clumps, clumps being 1, 2, and 3 words at a time. Hundreds of pauses. Every word, remember what I told you, what's accent reduction is long vowels. Every word he spoke had a long vowel. He always had a face, like he was thinking. He said each word, we haven't talked about this, but he said each word slowly. I complimented you a couple of times. When you finished the word, it not only was it perfect, but you said the word, I forget what the word was, maybe it was why. You didn't say why, you went why, and that was so beautiful. I interrupted you because it was said so perfectly, individually, slowly. And this is kind of the amazing part, which I did not expect. In that 1 hour, he actually spoke for about 20 minutes. The rest of the 60% of the time, he just stood there like he was thinking. And that just made the people go crazy. Absolutely unbelievable. Here's the end of the story. I'm going to try to combine everything that I just said. Here's how Bill Clinton finished. I've gone across Canada, and I've talked to many Canadians. Overall, you are very happy with your healthcare system. However, you are not happy that you have to wait 4 hours in emergency. You are not happy that you have to wait 4 months to see a specialist. But other than that, you have a wonderful healthcare system. And again, those people went crazy. I'm going to tell you one more thing and then I'm finished. Bill Clinton I found out, got $80,000 for that speech. Not bad for 1 hour. That was on a Friday afternoon. On the Sunday night before, he was in Halifax, Nova Scotia. He got $80,000. Monday, Montreal at lunch, Toronto at night, $160,000. Tuesday was Ottawa, Winnipeg on Wednesday, Thursday, Edmonton and Calgary, Friday, Vancouver. He spoke this speech 9 times. If you do anything 9 times, you would assume that you would say, you have a wonderful healthcare system. I understand, blah, 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 blah. You'd speak it fast because you've done it so many times. But his secret was, he spoke it as if it were the first time. And when I teach you, we'll do things as if, even though you know it so perfectly, you're going to speak it as if you're thinking, as if it is the first time. It's been a real pleasure to teach you. If you decide you want to continue, I would ask that you pay PayPal. I'll send you an email. It's simply do you have a PayPal account?
Yes, okay. I have.
So you pay me. As soon as you pay me, I will send you the book. I will send you videos to your email. I will send you more videos of Korean speakers. We can have classes anytime you want. I'd like to try to get 4 or 5 classes within, say, a week. The more you get quickly, the easier it is. There's no reason to practice. You just get it as quickly as you can, then you start to do it. I will give you, today I will not count, I will give you 10 hours of class, and you think about it and let me know. It'd be an honor to teach you. Can I ask you, do you plan to go back to work as a doctor one day soon, perhaps?
I just hope, but it's not really hard. I never seen Korean doctor who can practice here, so I don't know. Yeah.
I'm surprised because I'm sure your skill level is very high. Let me just tell you, I promise you, and I won't say money back, but the way you've done today, Jasmine, if you at some point need to pass some oral presentation to get your ability to work as a doctor in BC, I promise you, no one will care about, hear about. No one will hear your accent. You have a incredible opportunity to speak like almost nobody I've ever spoke. I'm sure you don't believe me, but I'm telling you, what you've done today, I can send you a couple of other Koreans in a first class and you will see the difference. You are quite amazing. So think about it, let me know. I hope I can teach you. If not, it's been a pleasure, and I hope we will talk again. Do you have any questions at all or any things you need to ask me?
Before you mentioned about the video.
Yeah, the video is, I'm going to make a copy of it. If you continue, I will send you, I'll make it right now, and if you pay the money, I'll get a notification from PayPal, and I will send you a copy of today's video. Every class you take, it'll take about 6 or 8 hours, believe it or not, to whatever happens to it, and then I will send you a copy. So you'll always have a copy of the class, so you can watch it with your kids, and you'll know what you're doing. You don't have to take notes at all because it'll all be copied. But I'll also send you 2 videos of about 3 hours long where I explain accent reduction. They'll be sent to your email. I'll send you a couple more videos of other Koreans I've taught. And whatever I sent you in that first, did I send you an email that told you what I would give you if you take the class? It's all there. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you very much. I hope we'll talk again.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure. Bye-bye.
Yeah.